What's up, kids? Today's lesson is on the birth of John, and the story starts with Zechariah and Elizabeth. They live in the countryside outside of the city of Jerusalem, and Zechariah is a priest, and every once in a while he goes into the city to perform his priestly duties. Now Zechariah and Elizabeth aren't able to have children, but they're very obedient and righteous in God's eyes. Okay, and so one day he goes into town to perform his priestly duties. He goes to the temple, and when he arrives in the temple, an angel appears to him.
I have a question. Why did God send an angel?
It's a great question. Angels are seen all throughout the Bible, and when they appear, they have a very specific purpose. And what they are doing is oftentimes they are bringing messages. Sometimes they encourage people, sometimes they protect people. But in this story, we see an angel, the angel Gabriel, appear to Zechariah, and he brings him a message. And that message is that him and his wife Elizabeth are going to have a baby, and that they are to name him John. And so he also tells him that he's not going to be able to speak until the baby is born.
What? He can't talk? Why did God do that?
I'm glad you picked up on that. Zechariah didn't understand. Zechariah was like, dude, I am way too old to have kids. And because of his disbelief, because of his doubting of what God was able to do, the angel Gabriel told him, hey, you're not going to be able to speak until the baby is born. And so kids, when we think about that, let's not doubt what God is able to do. God is so big, and he can do whatever he wants to do. And so never doubt God. And so Zechariah leaves, he heads back home, and lo and behold, they have a baby. And they name him John, and John is filled with the Holy Spirit. He's blessed by God, and they all celebrate because of what God has done in and through Zechariah and Elizabeth in having this baby.
So what's so important about John anyway?
That is a great question. John, this whole story is focused on John, and John plays a very important purpose in what God is going to do. God brings John into the world to prepare the way for Jesus' coming, and to prepare people for Jesus' ministry. And so when John heads out as a young man, John lives in the wilderness, and until God calls him to begin his ministry. And once John begins his ministry, he begins telling people about the coming of the Messiah and pointing everybody towards Jesus, saying, I am not the Messiah, but there is going to be a guy that comes after me that is going to be awesome, and that's going to be Jesus. And so his whole purpose was to point people to Jesus. Today I've got an important question for you guys, okay? What important message does God give us to tell others about? Okay? God gives us an important purpose, and it's written in the Bible. And I want you guys, and I encourage you to challenge you this week to seek what that is. Talk to your parents about it, and come up with what that reason is, or what the answer to the question is. Guys, we love you. We miss you so much, and we hope to see you this Sunday. Come join us in church. We're not going to have Coastal Kids, but you can join us in the service. All right? Until next week, we'll see you. Bye.